Hey guys, Ron here with Rising Sun Properties. Today we are headed to Nara. I viewed a couple properties out here for a client who's looking to move long term, so these properties are a little bit higher budget than most are looking at, but a good example of what you can get for that 50 million range. Here's the outside of the home. It's 50 million, 340,000 USD, 3-story 6LDKS built in 1991, 260 square meter building and 324 square meters total. Hey guys, doing a tour of the home. You can see the decor they have here in the house. So this is around a 50 million yen home, and it's fantastic. It's got a little bit of a vintage feel, if you will, but overall the house is just absolutely amazing. Especially I think comparably what you can get for your money in other countries like America, Australia, and it's just been great to be able to view this house. And I know, again, I've said it many times, but I know it's maybe above a lot of people's budgets, but just kind of an example of what you can get for your money out here in Japan. This particular client of ours is looking to live long-term in Japan, so it makes a lot more sense for them to purchase a home like this, that they're gonna be calling home for years to come. And it's just really great to see some of these properties. So we're available and open to work with anybody with any kind of budget or criteria. But again, just an example of what you can get for that 50 million range. Here's the neighborhood of the property. So a quiet neighborhood, and there are some really amazing homes in this neighborhood. So that's a good sign. All the homes are being lived in and are occupied. Very quiet off the any main roads. This home, however, even with the quality that it is, did not have double pane windows, which you rarely see. The garage is a little bit short. You can see that Lexus that the owner has parked underneath there, but the box car I had would not fit. So if you're wanting to park, you need a car that's a little bit shorter and not something that's a high SUV, something like that definitely will not fit. Here's some storage in the garage area. The home was pretty clean. There's some stuff in the home, as you'll see, but that can be negotiated and arranged. But overall, you can tell this home has been very well maintained. Here are the stairs coming up to the doorway. Large door. Has a really good feel to it. More modern than what you might see elsewhere in the akiya world. Everything's very large and spacious, even outside here in this entryway. There's another entrance there on the front, kind of a mudroom, if you will. And you'll see that later in the tour. Coming into the home, you see this double mirror kind of showcase area that they have a wooden elephant sitting on. There's some art scattered about the home. So that way is into the dining kitchen area, and there's a room down at the end of the hallway we'll get to later. There's that wooden elephant. There's also a tatami room back here as well. Couple mirrors placed around the home like you saw there. Here's the living room. Very open and spacious. Has this chandelier up top. But open, roomy, comfortable feel. Those windows kind of wrap around the side of the home and gives you a view of the backyard. It is a concrete home. So don't see any kind of hello. There's another mirror there. Don't see any issues that might pop up with this home. I didn't see any kind of cracking, foundational issues, anything on the walls or the ceiling, so that's a good sign. A couple of photos from different angles in the room. Off to the right is the tatami room, which we'll get here in a second. Here is the dining room area. Built-in cabinets. The kitchen is a little bit on the smaller side. Do have these bay windows around the home as well for some extra shelving. Display some of your favorite items. Here's a closet off to the right before we go into the tatami room here. So a lot of these quote modern homes have a Western feel, but always will have, for the most part, have a tatami room to keep that Japanese style to it as well. And this is that room. So it's 8 tatami. It's got a beautiful ceiling here, all wood. Closet space off to the right there. And the shoji doors that you can close up. And then the shoji doors open to this area here that goes to the backyard. Again, it took a look at all the ceilings. Did not see any kind of water damage. There was something that looked maybe like water damage in the kitchen area actually, but I don't think it's anything major. It might have just be humidity. But taking a look underneath, did not see anything to worry about at all. Of course, we will need to get the inspector in. To get a home like this inspected is going to be more expensive just because of the size of the home. You know, inspections at the low end can start around 75 to 80,000, and then the high end 15,000 to 2,000. That's USD, depending on how long it takes and how much they need to cover. Good thing is, it looked like there's plenty of ways to get underneath the home and get some close-up inspection, which you'll see here in the kitchen. This was a covering that was on the kitchen counter, which is kind of awkward. I don't know why that's covered. This is a dish dryer area with some storage here. Again, for the rest of the home, the kitchen is a little bit smaller. The shower upstairs also, but overall not too much to complain about. So down to the right, you can see it on the bottom of the screen is this little doorway that goes underneath the home. And that door was super heavy, so it's sturdy. Stuck my camera down there to take a look, and you can see that the inspector can get down in there, crawl through that space, and likely do an inspection of the entire underneath of the home. It's all concrete. Didn't see any issues from this video I took. I didn't go down there myself. Guess I'm not really brave enough or need to, but that's not my job. That'll be the inspector's job. I do, of course, look for anything I can see with my eyes and have become pretty good at it. Here is that mudroom I was talking about that connects off to the outside as well. Some extra storage. The wash sink there, and then that doorway going out to the front. And this is where we entered the home. So it's more of a mudroom, but I don't know exactly why you need a mudroom in a home in the city, but there it is. You can see you're not right up next to the neighbor, still pretty close, but I've seen much closer. If you've seen some of my videos, you can actually touch some of the homes that are next door. This home, I would imagine, is rebuildable, but there's no need to think about that because structurally it's fine, and you're not going to pay this much for a home if it needs to be rebuilt anyway. Every man's dream in the bathroom, a stand-up urinal. I rarely see these in homes in the city. A lot of times you'll see them out in the country homes, but here's one in this home, so that might be attractive or not. I'm not sure. For me, it seems pretty convenient. There are 2 toilets, one upstairs in the shower room as well. That's an extra bedroom or, you know, maybe office area that we'll get to in a minute. That looks out the backyard as well. A planter built into the home. You see the underneath the awning, it's yellow and kind of chipping, but that's just the paint. It's happening all around the entire home and nothing really to be concerned about. Here's this down at the end of the hallway, the office area. See these curtains that can close. Easily replaceable if you don't like the style. Paintings on the wall. Has a really open, spacious feel throughout the entire home. I forgot to get back and get videos of that outside there, but on the side of the home there's some extra space and actually a storage shed that's out there right now. This does have air cons installed in many of the rooms, almost all of them except for one upstairs. They all are from 2024, and I asked the seller's agent. He said they can be kept there, so that's a bonus. Don't have to worry about buying new air cons and getting them installed. Off to the right is a bookshelf. 3 more mirrors there on the window. That's facing the front. A little bit of wood missing there. But here's this large bookshelf, which I would love because I have a lot of books. And it's a great way to store them. But again, maybe that would be an office area. Up to the second floor. That's all the rooms on the first. Some stained glass windows. Hand railing was a little bit loose, but not a big issue. Either replace it or just tighten down the screws. Overall, really, there's not a lot to be remodeled or redone unless you don't like the look of something specifically. Everything is functioning. This is pretty much turnkey style. Several rooms upstairs here. Here's the first one. You can see that aircon in the corner. Wooden floors. Back there, excuse me, that door is a walk-in closet, I believe. I mean, you could use it for whatever you want, but I think it's more of just a storage. That would be the S. This is a 6LDKS. That storage is the S. Another bay window, and you can see off in the distance some views of the mountain. There's a room with the doors closed. Here's going into the storage area, and you can see the ladder going up into the attic there. More closet space there for clothes. So just very spacious, roomy home. And as you'll see up in the attic, there's lots of storage area up there as well. It's clean and very solid built. Couldn't see the tiles up on the top, but the tiles here that I can see look fine. They're more of the hardened clay style, not the concrete shingles that we typically have in America, and those last a long time. They have like a lifespan of around 60 years, I think. Here we are going up into the attic. And all cleaned out, not even really much dust or dirt around in the corner. So this is the way homes should be when you're showing them, all cleaned out, ready to view. Some of the cheaper ones are obviously not that way. I'm up here in the attic, and I can't stand all the way up. Almost, I guess in the center I can, but just a very large storage area and attic, and very clean, very well maintained, and just a really all around great property. It does have a ventilation fan over here, which is very helpful to keep the heat out. So as for some of the stuff downstairs, the items that are left here, those will just need to be negotiated. The seller said if the buyer wants to keep some of them, that they would be able to. If you want to get them removed, then that can also be negotiated and taken care of. These next two rooms are just smaller rooms. They both have these white built-in closets on them. That hanging fluorescent light is pretty interesting and can probably be taken care of and updated easily. This room did not have an aircon, but you can see on the wall there it has a place that it can be installed. Bathrooms to the right, we'll get there in a minute. Here's another room in the middle. No hole for the aircon here, but you could get a hole drilled out and get one installed quite easily. Same style of light and closets, and a sloping roof that gives it a little bit more open feel. These stained glass windows, and those aren't stickers, that's the windows are actually made that way. So if you want to get rid of them, you can't just peel the sticker off, you need to actually replace them. Here's the toilet, minus the urinal. It's just a toilet in this one with a small sink. And this would be the master bedroom, I would imagine. See aircon on the left there. Lots of closet space. Wood floor. And another chandelier style light in the middle. Plenty of natural light coming in from all sides of the home. Here is the closet. Plenty of storage for your clothes and places to hang. Never seen this before. It's a clothes hanger that's up a little bit, but you pull on this and it'll come down so you can reach it and then let it slide back up for storage. Lots of drawers. And some nice looking wood there on the closet. Here's a separate balcony. There's a balcony across there. You see that connects those other 3 rooms. This one has its own balcony. Not a lot of room out here, but is a place you can come out and get some fresh air in the morning. Look down the hallway. And now into the bath area. Lots of mirrors on the right hand side. Again, a little bit smaller for the rest of the home, but that's just how they use the space. Big tub that has the autofill and reheat. And this very interesting mural, the Swan Woman, as you'll see shortly in the shower area. There it is. That's a interesting design to have. So there is the home. It's a great property, very beautiful, and kind of an example of what you can get if you can get your budget up to that 50 million yen. I know a lot of our clients, they're wanting to look for second homes, so this might not be a great option. And on the way home, I saw Dr. Yellow, which is a very rare sight here in Japan. It's the test train for the Shinkansen, so always a pleasure to see that. Thank you guys for watching the videos. I really appreciate it. Please like and subscribe. If you have questions or interested in purchasing in Japan, please reach out via my email or WhatsApp. Thank you very much and have a great day.